interesting to see it.
Yeah, okay, so I will not be able to take a look there because I just got logged out of the system here. But it matters not too much. We will see if it is really a re-Aminatou. I believe that is the most common way to play the deck. Although I have seen some more value packs with like enchantments.
If you look at the latest top 8 deck list, you could see that the Aminatou started to shift towards the control-ish mid-range version because the latest changes throughout the last year, not only the reanimate and balance got banned, they also in Duskmourn got printed the Overlords, which is a way it complements well the reanimation package, no doubt. But it also presents with another very incredible and interesting angle that you don't have to have only big creatures that are cost lots of mana and you need to reanimate them. But you can also put them into play in the what's the mechanic of the Overlord?
That's called impending.
Yes, impending.
You put down, for example, Overlord of the Baelmerk, you put it down impending for 2, and then you use the Aminatou minus ability to just link it, and you get the real one.
Right next to each other, and we can see that.
Yeah, we were shown the deck list, and actually it looks like it's both. I can see all 3 Overlords, but I can also see the Grizzlebrand, the Grief, the Ashen Rider, the Archon of Cruelty, the Agent of Treachery, so stuff like this. Even Tivit in the deck. It is absolutely crazy. But now we are slowly going to get into the deck, and we will see the match in between David Stepanek piloting Aminatou and Dominik Mašík piloting the Aragorn King of Gondor, not returned king.
Yeah, this is the other one. Yeah, and let's just for the clarification, David Stepanek's deck is definitely the Reanimatou.
It looks like Reanimatou, but things that you mentioned, like the blinking of the Overlord.
Yeah, because the Overlords are very good cards in Aminatou in general, and they are definitely about to present even in the Reanimated version. But there was 10 plus big.
Yeah, there are the great, and I saw Persist and other stuff to reanimate it. Honestly, the Overlord of the Baelmerk is a crazy good card in this deck.
Yeah.
Because you put stuff in your bin, you can take something you can actually play, like, I don't know, the Psychic Frog. Yeah. And you have just everything ready. And you just blink it with Aminatou, and it's a 5/5.
Right next to the curve. So turn 2 by Overlord, turn 3 Aminatou, you got the big creature blocker.
Currency Converter.
Yeah, this is the classic. The card we saw last year as well, and it's some.
Now, Honza, I have to tell you something. I was actually telling that to my friends. I never saw the card before we played, and I was just learning how it works as we were commentating, which was a lot of fun because I had no idea how.
Yeah, the converter.
Yes, I had no idea how crazy good the card is. Yes, it is absolutely busted.
It is a very nice card, especially if it's a 1-drop, and then lets you set up your reanimate and stuff very well. It provides you with mana through the treasure tokens. Whenever you discard a card, you exile it from your graveyard. Yeah. You can draw this card with the ability.
And there is the prismatic ending via the command tower.
Sorry about that.
No worries. But that's the SpongeBob command tower, I think.
Yep, SpongeBob is there and exiled the converter.
Universe is beyond, baby.
It's cruel. We are not gonna see converter shenanigans.
Yeah, that's true. But and now this is the priest of the dawn, I believe, which is able
Fell Rights, priest of Fell Rights.
Fell Rights, that's true.
Basically, reanimation on a stick.
Yeah, reanimation on a stick. That's the main idea of the card.
And also a nice combination with intuition because it also works from your graveyard, similarly to Unburial Rights. So you can, because this is basically Unburial Rights in a creature form.
True. And here is the brainstorm coming. Yeah. I think that Dominik is really trying to dig for some answers here.
Definitely. Oh, and I saw something in Dominik's hand, and it is a Containment Priest.
That is a brutal card.
Perfect in this matchup.
Absolutely.
Because when Aminatou blinks something, or if Aminatou tries to reanimate something, containment priest just comes in and says no.
Like, nice try, thank you, but no.
Yeah, because if the creature would enter the battlefield, it is exiled instead.
The word instead is here absolutely important. The if and then instead, because it doesn't have an ETB. It doesn't get exiled after it comes in. It just doesn't come into play.
Yeah, it can be responded to by a removal spell.
True.
To not affect the effect.
True, absolutely. And here the priest was just destroyed by Unholy Heat. Nice and simple way of dealing with problems.
I think the main game plan of Aragorn is just interact with everything he can.
Absolutely.
And then in some...
Okay, and there is the containment priest, because David just played land and passed.
Wow, this is an interesting...
There is some sort of interaction for it.
Swords to Potions? Or...
Might be...
No.
It looks like a red card, but it's not the case.
No. It is a Fatal Push, I believe.
This this stream is sponsored by Alter Arts and Secret Layers and other things that really help us casters know what is going on.
Yeah, it's 1 mana convent ring.
It is a fatal push. Okay, we have the confirmation. Simeon's Spirit Guide exiled, not played.
Surprise Aragorn in play right here. And resolves. So David Panek lets it go. Or
it
response.
Looks like it might resolve.
Oh no, Dominik just went too fast, I believe.
He might have.
There is some thinking going on.
And I can see Enlightened Tutor on the side of David in his hand.
Interesting.
I don't see anything else, but I see the Tutor, which is nice, but it doesn't stop Aragorn now.
Considering the tempo gameplay of the different decks,
yeah,
Aragorn has the commander in play, presumably, depending what David decides, but if it's the case, the Aragorn is definitely...
There is the Enlightened Tutor. Yeah. Now we have a question in the chat I can see. Did Aminatou fetch Underground Sea with Arid Mesa? I missed the land it was. Was it a Mesa?
No, I believe that was Mr.
It looks like Marsh Flats.
Or Marsh Flats.
Yeah, it looks like Marsh Flats to me. That's the Zendikar, the new Zendikar, invitation things. It looks like Marsh Flats.
I believe so.
Yeah, but it could be the case. These things happened.
We can't. No. We can have the confirmation if that was a bad play.
Yeah. Actually, as I'm looking at it, I think I see the word M. Ooh, and that is actually interesting. The Enlightened Tutor, because the Overlords are enchantments.
Yes.
You can just fetch them.
Yeah. Thing is, this is the white Overlord.
Yeah, right? That's the white one.
Yeah, so it costs 4 mana. Let's see if it can fight against Aragorn.
It could, especially if then you just flip it with Aminatou next turn.
The first thing first, you need to put it in play.
True, it needs to resolve.
But if it does, Aragorn has 2/1 flying creatures to worry about. Mm-hmm. And when the Aminatou next turn flickers, the Overlord, there are just too many creatures for Aragorn to go through. So this is possibly a very nice play, and the angle Aminatou can decidedly take control of the board presence.
Absolutely. Now there is the Overlord. We will see impending, and we will see if it resolves.
No other choice. Yeah, no force of will in Aragorn.
If there is no force of will, it just gets there, and then Aminatou will just flip it, which is fantastic option.
If Aminatou resolves.
Because we shall see.
The Overlord in itself won't change the situation. And
it sounds like there is a judge call at the table.
Something.
At least that's what I heard.
Yep.
Physically next to us.
Considering what impending does.
Yeah, there might be like a question on impending. Maybe like if it's a creature or what is it. And we will probably soon get a confirmation of what was the problem and if it's resolved easily.
Possibly just a question from a player to really understand the possible interaction.
It could be for example, not a force of will, but if you have a force of negation, for example, you can't actually counter the Overlord because it is still a creature even though you're casting it for its impending cost.
Yeah, it only enters as a not creature on
Exactly.
But the card is still a creature spell.
Yeah,
that can be force of negation.
Yes, so that looks like that was most likely the case.
Yeah, and also we see the
the
aftermath,
moths.
and moths are there.
The moths, they are coming to the flame.
Next turn is going to definitely be crucial about what's going to be on the
Absolutely,
play.
absolutely.
If Aragorn will prevent Aminatou to come, and if Aminatou could take over the game, at least
I
the
think
board presence.
That is a very neat option for your opponent. There is
multiple
stifle or some kind of snap, or what is it? Okay, a Vendalion click. I'm not sure how.
Aragorn tapped their mana, so means he can prevent the Aminatou.
But there is the Force of Negation. It is actually in the hand. I just saw it.
It makes sense.
Which was probably the judge call, and then okay.
Interesting.
So there is the intuition, and then there is the
angel
the one that destroys.
Yep, board vibes.
Yeah, board vibes, right?
From conspiracy.
Yeah. So there is just an attack.
Wait, no. Vendalion click presumably didn't put any cards.
Right. So there was nothing. Just like nice hand.
A check and a flying attacker / blocker.
True. But there is the Monarch.
Yeah. Business it.
I love the reminder on there. Like if you forget what Monarch does.
Yeah.
But there was nothing being played. I think that the Aminatou player really respects the fact that Dominik most likely has some sort of interaction.
Yeah. And if there was the call, David can imagine if it can be about the Force of Negation.
True.
And it doesn't prevent intuition of the opponent's turn. That was just a pass.
Okay, just a normal counter spell. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't see, like, in this position, I don't really see if David can truly manage this race, because Dominik is winning.
Yeah, David has only 6 life, and there is both Aragorn and Vendalion Plague, and he needs to take over the Monarch somehow, and put some blockers in play.
And, he can attack with one of them, take the Monarch, but then the other one will just get to not block because of Aragorn.
Definitely. So, this doesn't solve the situation.
It is just...
And Aragorn looks like he has enough interaction.
Yeah, like there might be little potentially.
Yeah, we can see players' hands.
I can see Gitaxian Probe. I can see the Force.
You can be pretty sure that the game is most likely
in Dominik's favor. Absolutely.
Yes. Aragorn is most likely going to win.
Okay, an attempt to play Aminatou.
And we will now see most likely...
Yeah, Force of Negation, putting away that's a Pyroblast, I think? No, the Hydroblast.
Yes,
the other
blue one.
The blue one.
Very useful in this situation.
Yeah, in this situation, this was the best thing to use it for.
Right, yeah. In this matchup, definitely.
Absolutely. Now, and I think that's probably it. Because, that's the game.
Concession from
Concession from David. Quite logical.
We have 1-0 for Aragorn.
Absolutely. Like, I was rooting a little bit for David, but I don't know if I'm a big fan of just, trying to not play Aminatou and let them just basically bully you with the counter spell.
Well, there was not much of a choice because Aragorn had a right kind of interaction every single turn.
True.
Turn 1, Converter got exiled. Turn 2, Priest got killed. Turn 3, Rezil was the tutor. And I was surprised Aragorn on turn 3 resolved and took over the board presence. And since that point, the Aminatou got in backside and...
Yeah, and Dominik had enough cards basically to just, use free interaction via the Force, have counterspell and Force at the same time, just anything that they needed.
Since Aragorn had played Monarch Trigger allowed him to keep having interaction every single time.
And with the click, he was completely sure that he was winning the pressure game.
Increased the clock so much because it was like 4 turns because it's on 17 life. Yeah. But thanks to the click, it was only 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And 7 damage a turn is quite a lot. Especially if you're fighting a resource game at the same time.
Yeah, and from that point, Aragorn just chills and keeps the counterspell in hand, and I think meaningful can just respond.
True, just like play whatever. I don't care. I don't see Aminatou.
Calmly drive the.
Let's hope that
Aminatou is not shuffled.
Yes, that is something that does happen from time to time to players. I understand.
Yeah, especially if you might be slightly tilted.
First
game.
Completely.
But let's believe it's not the case.
Ooh, that's something that just got countered.
Yep. That was a careful study. Card too.
Okay, careful study.
Pretty mainstay in the Aminatou decks because it allows you to set up a turn 2 reanimation.
The discarding spell
can be breaking.
Absolutely.
This is Arithmeza, so once there is undercurrency again, that
once again we
we
can now confirm that it was not the
Arithmeza. No, we are not confirming anything. That is a stifle.
True. Oh my, stifle on a mesa. That is brutal.
That's like automatic thing early in the game, just preventing your opponent to basically get the land drop.
True.
And shorten the possibility if your opponent that have only 2 lands or something.
It is basically
can win the game.
Absolutely, it can win the game because they are just not able to do.
Rolling Dragonstorm.
That looks like the new addition, Rolling Dragonstorm. It is actually very sweet because it discards cards, and you need to discard cards.
In history, there was the Out of Chase played in Aminatou version, the earliest versions,
and it got I think 4 spiked.
Yeah,
it looks like a 4 spike, so it was
allow
just
you something to draw cards and discard a card to set up your graveyard and can be blinked with Aminatou. But this card is cool because it's only 2 mana.
Right.
Get the same effect.
Now Hollowed Fountain, 3 mana.
You can confirm Aminatou.
Okay, it was not shuffled in, and then just got mana leaked.
Yeah.
Dominik has got everything. Now Aragorn just slammed down, drawing cards.
This is a very tough situation.
And it's brutal because
answer any single turn, then Aragorn comes into play. And
there is nothing resolved by David.
Yeah, David, if he attempts or if he manages to get something big in the graveyard and then reanimate it, he can turn the game around. But at this point, Aragorn has tempo, Aragorn has card advantage.
It will be harder and harder because the Aragorn player is drawing more and more cards.
Can overwhelm over time with the card advantage. But David still can force through some play. So let's see.
True. I don't want to close this game, absolutely. But this so far looks as like a dominant performance by Dominik Mašík. The fact that you have a lot of interaction and then pressure is just crazy good.
I think David's hand and the opener was significantly based on the careful study resolving. But he couldn't expect your opponent having the
free counter spell. Mental misstep. You can't play around that, but it does hurt a lot.
Yeah, because it prevents setting up the play. So anything else that you have so little control.
Absolutely.
And if this situation was all completely same, but there was some big creature in the graveyard, like David could be only one step closer to turn the game around. But now he has 2 steps, so there is 2 opportunities for Aragorn to prevent.
Yeah, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't. Just a surveil into a land into the bin. I think we would have liked to see like a big creature entering there, just to have some chance.
Aragorn hit, but I don't think life total is.
Might be changed from the last time. I don't really.
Yeah, Aragorn should hit twice with the lifelink. So.
True, could have.
Let's imagine Aragorn has like 28 or something life total.
Okay, there is the Hull Breacher,
another backbreaking card,
which was cast as a reaction to the plus ability of Aminatou, because you can see 4 loyalty.
Poor Aminatou not only got bullied the whole game, also her ability is
just no cards.
A card from your hand on the top of library.
True,
and your opponent has
you have to put it back.
So it is like I did Hubbreacher in response to Brainstorm. This is not as bad, but it is very bad.
You just fate seal yourself, sort of. You just like you have to put something in there. You know you're drawing that. You know you're not getting anything new.
Yeah, no. In practice, it is even worse than that, because not only you lose card from your hand, you also lose the next draw because you only draw a card you already have.
True, and if you are in a bad spot, which right now we can see David is in a bad spot,
Dominik.
you know you need one more draw to just get something.
And that one draw is not happening.
Yeah, right. And I don't think he can count on having Aminatou because, well, I know Dominik can now just choose to go full face. That's an option. It is a 2-turn call.
It is 100% the case. Because,
Yeah.
Going face meaning leaving David only with 4 life.
I know, but
And-
there could be like a safe. I could imagine just trying to be super safe, just having counterspell stuff and
I don't
killing
think-
Aminatou.
I don't think Aminatou does anything.
We will see.
Considering.
There was the kill on Aminatou.
Well,
Okay, conservative play, let's say conservative play.
Right.
I don't know if 21 really counts as the number, and
Yeah.
that's the scoop from David.
So it was based on
this was
so
a
much.
brutal performance.
all the
Okay,
interaction, all the perfect cards Dominik could have
Right.
to respond to anything, and David just couldn't do anything.
absolutely,
Both of
absolutely.
them.
I will probably just check with the players if they have the rewards they
Definitely,
need, because and I will also ask them for the interview.
Wow. So considering I said that I'm glad that previous 2 matches were close ones, or at least 2-1. This one wasn't the case. Commentator's curse strikes again. So let's see what's going on right now. If there is some follow-up in case of interview or something. And we will be right back with something. Okay, we have the winner chose a booster pack, and let's see if there's something good in it. River Boa and Drugskol Captain, the Spirit Lord. Foil 1, so nice. Okay, just a second.
All right. Now we have here the winner of this match, Dominik. Dominik, once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was a dominant performance, I have to say. How do you feel about the game?
I feel all the game that I can lose. The deck, the deck is really good. And,
It is fantastic. Like, personally, I do love Aragorn, just to see it perform. And in both games, you showed us that it is important to have interaction, just to be ready for anything.
yeah,
right?
for Deadpool, and you will see the Hydroblast I play.
Yeah.
And Containment Priest, because I want to play the Sanctifier in deck.
True.
But there's a little bit number with the Detective Phoenix and the Flage in my deck.
Makes sense.
So I cut it and play the Containment Priest instead.
It works kind of the same way, right? And also,
in some matchups.
Yeah, and also you can actually host your opponents. Like I would like to use persist. Sure, containment priest. Yeah, nice try. That is fantastic. Although it got removed, it was just you were just ready for everything. It was fantastic. Now, tell me, were you afraid during the second match of just Aminatou doing anything? Because we saw that you actually went for the attack, and with Honza, we were like, okay, maybe he will go for lethal like next turn, but you chose to attack it. Were you afraid that they might play something?
Yeah, I'm afraid of some like fatal push or something like that.
Right.
But I want to feel safe, so it's the only way I'm doing it. Because I have misdirection and force of will on hand. So
you had both of these. Oh my god!
So I have everything, all the games. So
you were just ready for anything that could happen. Now that is fantastic. Now, can you tell us which matches did you play already today? What did you meet?
I played against Timna and Rayhan.
Okay,
it's Abzan. It's all the same like Timna Trasios and without Nadu combo.
Yeah, okay.
But he played some vice combo with carrion feeder and
the cat?
familiar.
Yeah,
the cat. And in the second round, I played against Erat and Gera.
Okay.
But in the second game, I got the favorite for Zovel backup. So and he played all the flesh creatures. So
right.
Like if you play like Felia or even Mensins or something like that in your turn, I don't care.
Yeah, you were just doing that. Now, there is a question that comes to mind because Aragorn is a deck that has been around for quite some time, but there are some hot new stuff, like the Deadpool, for example.
Yeah.
So why did you choose Aragorn?
Because I like the playstyle of the deck, that you have all the counter spells in the flesh creatures. When you play Aragorn in like safe position.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like this a lot, but I hate the Deadpool. So
you don't like the card?
No.
Okay. Well,
because it's not a triggered ability. So all my stifle effects is not that good. Like
like once it hits the battlefield, it just happens.
Yeah.
Like you can't use Tishana's Tidebinder or Stifle.
Yeah.
True. Exactly. You just have to counter it, right?
Yeah. It's the only way. But I want to prepare for the Deadpool matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So I bring in the Driss Down.
Right.
I bring in the Hydroblast.
Mm-hmm.
And some other cards.
That's good. I really like the approach. Like you need to be ready for everything, right? With the Aragorn. Also, the way I saw your matches play out, it's basically a little more like, I don't want to say you're lacking tempo. There is tempo 100%, but it's more like deal with anything in the early, just interact with whatever they have, and then resolve Aragorn and be just ready to win the game via the Monarch.
I think Aragorn is really popular in meta, but I don't think all the people play it correctly.
Okay.
So
hot take. Well, it's not a hot take. You're just throwing shades at other Aragorn players. Makes sense.
I'm just we built it with my colleague, and we want to have counter spells and flesh creatures. So many flesh creatures.
Yeah.
But there's like Deadpool, if they dark ritual into Tatsis or something like that, it's really hard to beat it.
That's brutal, right? But it's great that you can do that, deal with that. What about any matches that are not really great? Are there some like really bad matchups for Aragorn?
I don't think so. I think that's like 50-50 each matchup.
Okay.
But the Deadpool, it's like 45 to 55, I suppose.
All right. Like your personal opinion. Yeah. Okay, and when it comes to running into these other control decks, for example, like a Traxa or Ertai, is it more problematic than dealing with those Yoshimaru fast decks?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the Pyrokinesis in main deck.
Yeah,
but I cut it because it's only great against the Yoshimaru.
Yeah,
but it's like mediocre in like Aragorn matchups or something like that. But Yoshimaru is only great, so I think like Fury it's enough for me.
It makes sense. That's also the problem when it comes to singleton format, right? You need to have all the stuff just packaged in one thing, and if it's not good for the matchup, like for example the Hydroblast you had here, the best thing you used it for in the game you played was just to pitch it to Force of Will.
But in an Aminatou matchup, it's like the card didn't do anything. So
absolutely, and that's what I'm talking about, right? Like sometimes you run into situations where like it just doesn't do anything. Yeah.
There's more cards in the build that don't do anything in some matchups, like Containment Priest or Lithoformic Barrage.
Lithomancer's Barrage. Right. Yeah. You can deal 1 damage. It's fantastic, right? And that is a great idea. We actually saw Satya last time here. It's more of an aggressive style when it comes to the colors of Jeskai. So what do you think? Well, obviously you prefer Aragorn, right?
Yeah.
But how do you feel about Satya and this approach to playing the colors?
If I play the Aragorn and Satya against me, I think I'm really behind because he plays all the hasty creatures or something like that. He can play like Birdside Bombardiers and Satya have haste. But I prefer the playstyle of the Aragorn, so that's why I choose it.
Okay, it makes sense because, like as you said, basically no bad matchups, right? But Satya, it can really get to the beat, right? It can be quite brutal. All right, now Dominik, I will wish you the best of luck in next rounds, and we will take a short 5-minute break, guys, and then we will come back to you with more talk about the meta, the bans, and also Final Fantasy. So we will see you. Thank you very much, Dominik.
See ya.
See ya.
Thank you.